Here's a really feel-good story. It was almost 2 years ago when a Utah climber rescued a base jumper who got stuck on a Moab cliff. Now, this is so crazy, but River Berry, she will actually soon receive the Carnegie Medal. That is awarded to civilians who risk death or serious injury to save another life. She's an avid climber. She was in Moab with friends, and she saw a base jumper who got stuck. His parachute got stuck on the cliff right there, and she had to act so quickly. I talked with her about that experience, so take a listen. What made you quickly react in that moment's notice?
Yeah, that's a great question. The most interesting part about that is that nothing made me, it just did. Like, yeah, there's no thinking. Like, you just do. He had jumped from a 400-foot place.
Okay.
And then he landed. His chute was probably around 80 feet. His body was around like 70-ish feet up in the air. So that's about how far I had to climb.
When could you take a breath?
It wasn't until we got to the ground.
Wow.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's just, it's so intense even hearing that story and being able to talk to her last week. And I mean, she said she had to climb 70 feet, and in fact, it was a route that had never been climbed before. So typically, rock climbers climb things that have been climbed before. It's very dangerous otherwise, because you're setting your own gear in this instance. So she described it as crumbly, full of sand. There were times where she was using tiny cams, as they call them, to like big cams to her whole body wedged in between of this cliff to get up there to save the guy. And she didn't even know if he was even alive until she could hear him somewhat breathing and moaning at the top. But thankfully they both made it out safe, and she has gone back to that route, and she ended up naming it, calling it Lifeline, and she actually came up with that name with the man she rescued. That man she rescued would like to be anonymous, and she'll get the Carnegie Medal in the next couple months, and I believe they already had a FaceTime call about that, so she still is forever bonded with that stranger.
I mean, what a story too.
Right?
What a
and
story.
She's here just to have that instinct, right? And she always said, she goes, look, I'm an avid, obviously I'm an experienced climber, but for other people out there who have experience, try to help someone. Do whatever you can to try to help someone versus just filming the situation happening. Right. And she just jumped to it, and wow, credit to her.